If they hating on the block, I take that as disrespect.
This that Casho and that OD flame emojis with the set. This that write me out of check. This that my hood is a trap. This that doggies on the gate, tattoos on the face. This that represent. This that overseas, right back to the bay. This that rocker on the vest, ain't call on the flesh. Chain around the neck, watch all on the wrist. Let these haters flex. So boy city on my back, so you know I represent. Boy, put on every day for the city, for the gang. You already know the team gon' let it bang. Castro, Woo.
If they hating on the block, I take that as disrespect. Hold up, wait. Hold up, wait. If they hating on the block, I take that as disrespect.
Yo, it's your boy Dave here, and this is the Fallon Show. Hope all is going well out there. I'm in the Waikato today with Mongrel Mob Kingdom. I got an invite by the big bro Sonny and Lucky Te Koha. And yeah, I've just come down to heard that the brothers are doing some positive things out here, trying to make some positive changes. So yeah, just gonna give y'all guys a geese and have a look around and see what the GO is. It's shite.
Like I say, is that there are good leaders out there who are wanting to do the best that they can for their own. And if that means providing tools, is it providing whatever it takes to better the individuals or the roku, the family, however you want to put it, then more power to us all. But also in terms of what our cause is trying to achieve as a collective. Most of the people that come to me have come from families or parents who have gone through the state care system. Through all the atrocities and stuff that went on behind closed doors with state care and the intergeneration traumas that have been passed down through parents who haven't had the opportunity to find healing or to even to express what they went through, or even have the courage to do so. At the end of the day, and how my view is that this is how the gangs became. It became through those who actually went through state care. Coming out of those spaces and being very disconnected to family, to whānau, and because of who we are as a people, we need to be able to connect to our own. And so out in the wilderness, some of these people met people out there with either the same reason or very similar reasons, looking for a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, looking for another family. And from that became the gangs. So, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that as years and decades have gone on, and people have come and born into these families. They come and they're broken. And it doesn't matter who you are, we all carry trauma in our own right. So what you saw on the weekend is just a continuation of the good works that have been going on for decades. The difference, I guess, is that now that the new generations have come, they are starting to see the value in the work that's happening. Why? It's because a lot of them realize they're not all the so-called people that are in the gang space are going to live that lavish life of bling bling, money. Only a small percentage of people in that space will live that life at their expense of the majority of the people that will do whatever they need to do to serve, because they're just feeling like they just want to be part of family. They want to do the things that are going to get the support that they need that they don't have, not knowing the bigger picture.
So I'm Lucky Te Koha, and I'm a pastor for New Life, and I guess I'm in full-time ministry, and I run a program for the Kingdom Brotherhood, and it's dealing with our traumas. Where I run that program for the churches, I run it for the average Joe fella, Joe blogs. Also run it with some of the clubs, the gangs. Hey, Mongrel Mob being one of them. I know there's a list of other clubs that are wanting to jump on this kaupapa that we do. So, you know, because the good word is spreading, eh, bro? So the good word is spreading, and so, you know, people are wanting to jump on and be a part of it. You know, it's our mission is to heal the man, and by healing the man, you heal the family. As we all know, we all go to, you know, to the clubs or the gangs because they're our family. When nobody else wanted us, they wanted us. So the kōrero we're talking about that we've had for this weekend, we started with self-esteem, grief is the next one we've got coming up, manhood, and is there hope for me? And the last one will be parenting. Yeah. But prior to this one that we're doing now, we did trauma. Because it all starts there, eh? It all starts at trauma. And the fruit of the traumas that we carry. So the next one was addiction. Because addiction comes with birth from trauma. Because it's a self-medicating. Addiction, and with the addiction becomes a depression and anxieties. And after those comes the anger and the violence. And after those comes the relationship and the breakdowns from them. Hey. So yeah, that's where we're at. Well, I've been qualified because I was let's say, for 50 years, I've been in my world for 50 years in a group that I call a criminal element now. I don't share about who it was anymore because they're still going and I still love them. I've had everything. Depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, been sexually abused, well, everything, you know. You know, the scriptures say to bring things into the light. And when we bring it into the light, we finally see for what it really is. And then it has no power on us anymore. Hey. So what we do here in these corridors is set a safe environment and a safe platform for them to talk, to know that when we have to speak, they know that we've been there, qualified by experience, and they understand it. They're around amongst brothers then. They aren't going to condemn them because we already walked that walk, you know. So that's what it is. And, you know, I no disrespect to the counsellors and to the psychologists and all that type of stuff, but we put our cards on the table. Because, you know, we all smell a rat, eh? Especially when we lived in the world we lived in, eh? We smell rats, bro. And the first thing you do is you say nothing when you're around somebody that you're not too sure about, but wary of, eh? But when you put your cards on the table, it opens people up. Because then they know where they stand. It's safe. It was something that the Lord put on my heart. And it was this whole template, this whole thing that you've listened to, and that I shared last time with the brothers. It was something that the Lord gave me, and I just wrote it down. It took me a year and a half to write down these 12 subjects. You know, I wrote one the other day because it had to be finished off, and it took me a day. But the first year and a half, and I'm dyslexic, I learned how to read in prison, 25 years age. And I have a problem with comprehension, but I've written this, and it was because the Lord gave it to me. Because I didn't have the ability. I didn't have anything, bro. I just had the experiences, but I couldn't put it down on paper. But the Lord gave me the ability and put it down on paper. And I haven't changed any of it. It's pretty raw and rough, but that's what we receive, eh? The truth comes raw and ready.
Kia ora whānau, my name's Daryl Pai from Whakatane. I'm here today, it's about fourth time here with the Kingdom Mob, and here to help heal the hearts and take them through healing through the Lord and the kaupapa of the Word, and yeah, just to unlock hearts, but to heal brokenness, to heal the soul. Yeah, and it's good to meet all the people here and from all different walks of life who've come here to support, and just tautoko what's happening here with the kingdom. They're doing things different because they're about whānau and they're about taking people through healing. And so big ups to Paito, big ups to the brother and for what he's doing here. And just like just been praying for one of the young brothers here. You know, his family's separated because of he's in a gang culture, but this is a whānau culture. It's not a gang culture, and it's the new way of doing it. So I just pray this goes out there, that what the brother's doing here is gonna change the face of gang culture to bring it back to whānau. So too much, brothers, be blessed. Jesus.
Healing trauma, about not having to become a product of what we've been through. That change is possible at any journey, any part of the journey, that God can heal anything. Doesn't matter what you've been through, that He can take it and turn it for good. That your trauma, that your pain, that you've journeyed through can actually, it can be healing for someone else.
The tikanga here is to come together collectively, is to come here to have the opportunity to speak your truth. We have certain subjects that are put on the table, as you're aware. We dealt with, in the past, we dealt with trauma, we dealt with depression. So we deal with things to do with prison culture, probation culture, police culture, living in society with condition culture. You find yourself within the gang culture. You try and learn your Māori culture, and you try and find your place within the global culture. So yeah, it's just coming together, really just have that opportunity. Being on the marae, it's a safe environment where we can come into our whare tupuna and don't allow our things outside that door to penetrate. Yeah, most of my life, youth started within the system, within the prison culture. At that time, you know, if we had known what we know today, maybe we would have made better choices in the early 80s. So it really was at that time when we were in prison, it was decided at that time that we needed to make a change. We needed to make better choices. And at that time we came together, and there were major changes that were made. Discipline was put in its place. They were hardcore discipline that were put in its place. From there you get released, and you know the changes had to be made within the prison to be successful in society. So, you know, we have a lot of system programs that they put in front of us, but they don't necessarily work for us. So we had to create something for ourselves. Hence the reason what we do on Marae. We bring in our own flock. There are certain subjects that are put in front of us. We get the opportunity to talk to those subjects, and like I said, it's about talking your truth. If you put 13% into it, you get 13%. If you put 2% into it, that's all you get out of it. So really it's been a long haul for me. Probably it's been over the last 37 years now. 37 years to be where I am today. And these are programs that, or wānangas that we've been holding on the marae that have been successful for people like myself. So for us being an organisation that I've been with this big loving family, it's not how long you've been in it. It's what you've done. It's what you contribute. It's about walking the talk. And if you can walk the talk, you can talk the talk. If you don't walk it, then don't talk it. You know, nowadays it was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Today that attitude no longer exists in our culture in terms of us trying to find a better solution for these men to find a pathway to better themselves. So really it's not about telling them to pull out of this big lovely family. It's basically trying to educate them, trying to get them to make better contributions. So What is it in this wānanga that helps these younger men? Well, they have OGs, old school. Talk to them, give them advice, give them some loving, talk to them about what works, what doesn't work, talk to them more about the system, how the system has failed us. And for me, it's not about being racist towards the system, but hey, let's be honest about it. We never had what they have with back then. Like I said, it was a dog eat dog attitude. You just do your time, you just do what you're told, and there's no backward step. It's about just, bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. So changes that I've seen in these men, I see these men speak their truth. I see these men in front of these beer that speak their truth. I see these men come along and allow their women to hear them speak their truth. I hear these men looking for directions. What we have today, that we have leaders put in place for these men to make better choices in order for them to better themselves, like we were saying today, be a better promoter, better provider, better protector. And when they can analyse and assess that, then they know how to contribute to the big loving family. When my grandmother passed away, things had changed for me. But spiritually, when I was in my youth, I was quite spiritually damaged, and really there was really no one there to really help people like myself at that time to even talk about things wairoa. That's why I say in my own way that we found spirituality within the prison culture. We came there, as we said, it came back to the leaders. If you look at the spirituality that we have today, karakia is number one. It is number one. People may say, it might be from a Christian background, whatever that look like. That's their call. That's the paint, that's the picture they want to paint. But spirituality in this wānanga and the wānangas before this wānanga that has taken place, number one call.
Kia ora, my name's Jack Berryman. Ko taupiri te Mongrel Waikato te awa, te kauri te marae, Ngāti Whawhākia taku hapu, no Waikato tainui a hau. I was born and raised in Waikato in Hamilton, Fairfield, and I think in those formidable years I became a mob member with the Mongrel Mob family, with the big dog, Sonny Fatupaito, Ariki. Back in Huntly, I run a lodge for low-income earners. It's very necessary in the community. Low-income earners, what I mean by low-income earners is homeless people. A lot of our clients, tenants come from WINS, and we get the referrals from WINS. And so we have a facility that's very old. It's been around since the 70s. It was an old facility that was there for the miners that had when the coal mine used to be open, and for the power workers for the power station over the river. So there's a lot of memories there for a lot of the whānau that are born and bred in Huntly. It's changed a lot of hands, the facility. It's been through a lot of services. So now that we've got it, it's a real huge need in the community. The birthing of this kaupapa had started in jail all those years ago. We started an organisation called Ngā Whānau o Māngaru, or the Heirs of Tāne, was the official trust when we had to put it into a trust. And that was basically bringing the family together and talking about our issues, talking about the mamai, talking about the things that were affecting us in a negative way, and the fruition of that is what's happening today. The vision that all those years ago the brothers did, the big dog, me, there's quite a few of us at that table at that time, and in jail they didn't have programs, they didn't have te reo programs, they didn't have kapahaka programs, they didn't have any of that sort of stuff. And a lot of them at the time that will go up to a parole board will be asked, are you rehabilitated? But the system didn't provide any of that. So it was out of that vision that we pushed for those things to happen. And pushing for those things to happen, it actually brought in funding through the prisons to provide for those programs. And so we ended up going as far as creating whānau days. The family would let us come in. We were doing kapahaka. The island boys were doing the island sasa and all the dances, and that brought it into a family day, and they piloted it in Perry. And because of the successfulness, the engagement from all the gangs, and it united all the gangs, it made them do the same thing, or come and join in our group. And so we had all other gang members that would come to our haka group that was in jail. We weren't the biggest gang at the time. The island community was the biggest community. Then there was the Black Power community, and then it was our one. But we were the ones that initiated it, and it sort of brought them all together. And so, up to 20, 30, 35 years later, you know, the perspective, the ideology of a lot of that old mentality has shifted, because they're seeing it play out, and they're seeing the results, they're seeing the positive that's in it, they're seeing the good that's been implemented, you know. And it's hard to say, but when you put things in perspective, a lot of the kingdom members ain't going to jail anymore. A lot of them are educated, a lot of them are tradies, they're looking after their families. You know, we're very inclusive of bringing the family involved in it, and what they're doing. So yeah, it's cut across a lot of barriers. He's cut across a lot of barriers that it's hard to get your mind around, especially if you're a hardened gang member. Yeah.
There is me as a rangatira amongst the people that look for me. It is them. They give me the mana to be the leader that I am. And when they do that, they are telling me that they trust me. And they trust me to offer them the guidance and direction, to provide wisdom and knowledge, to be able to give them philosophy, to help them find their way in the world. There is no sense in me as a leader to want the best of these people when they're not even giving it to themselves.